Hello, America. This is
the fastest 2 hours in radio.
I think we really need like an intellectual revolution.
Now, of course, this is not so much a show as it is a special event.
The Morning Edge with Fox 2's Vic Faust,
We need to have a little talk here.
Chris Knight,
Hang on.
and Eric Johnson.
The more bizarre he gets,
The more people like him.
A complex mechanism that in itself must be operated by an even more complex entity, you.
The Morning Edge starts now.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. It is 8:04 on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. May 25th is our date. Chris Knight's here. Crystal Cooper and Vic Faust of Fox 2. Eric Johnson. Is Eric coming in today? I haven't heard from him. Or I know he was on assignment yesterday. Allegedly on assignment.
He was with Elliot yesterday.
Have you? I wish I was.
You
with
were
him.
off yesterday, so you don't see the clip. You'll see it today when you get there.
I was actually with Elliot for a few hours yesterday, and he was not with Elliot. Even though I was off, I was still working at the station on some things. Because when you're responsible for doing other stories throughout the week and nobody knows what the hell's going on, you still have to go in and work on your day off.
Eric will be here today.
Okay. Eric Johnson will be here at some point in time. Maybe with 55 plus pounds of copper, I hope. We'll see.
No, you're going to know when he does that because you're going to have a camera here.
Okay.
So we're going to have to schedule that up.
I'm going to piss you off right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to. Drew Collins jumps on the line.
Yeah.
First of all, at 8:20 or 8:25-ish, we're going to talk to Robbie Bizzell of Sky Canopy. He's an expert on vaccinations. He's called us before, how he had cured his daughter's massive epilepsy with medical marijuana.
Yeah.
He started up a new company.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to tell us about Sky Canopy.
Cool.
Coming up at 9:30. At the end of this day, we're going to need some positivity. The new Blue Ways in St. Charles County had a story on Fox 2 last night with Steve Ellman. You had Chris Higgins went out to talk about what's happening in St. Charles County. That's good news. That's good stuff. Blues play tonight, resetting. Don't know if they're going to
Who cares?
be ending their season. You can't say that when you've invested so much money.
It's over.
I know.
They're not going to beat Colorado 3 games in a row.
Well, yeah, I know, but
So
there's always the chance.
Doesn't matter if they win tonight or not.
I know.
Yes, mathematically you're correct.
Yeah, and the Cardinals
you're
sucked
saying
last
there's
night.
a chance.
Drew, out of all the things you've ever said on this show, this is the worst thing you've ever said, and I'm sorry. You're looking for problems. We did not plant Drew to say this, to have stuff to talk about. We did not, I promise you.
Yeah. What do you say?
Well, 22 people died in Texas. We know that. A small little town about 80 miles west of San Antonio. 19 kids, 2 teachers. No, none of us like to talk about it. None of us like to think about images. None of us. It takes me back to the Sandy Hooks situation. But at the same point in time, you can't blame anybody. And Drew, for you to say Republicans are responsible for killing kids.
Oh, wait a minute. No,
when you say Republicans are responsible for not protecting kids, you're saying that they're killing kids. That's the same damn thing. Drew, that's reckless. It's irresponsible. It's sickening because we all know it's a lie. We all know you're trying to make it political, just like a lot of Democrats are. It has nothing to do with politics. So I'm going to get it out right out of the way, and then I'm going to shut up, and if anybody else wants to jump in, you do it. Drew, I appreciate your viewpoints sometimes, most times when they're different, because you, and I'm sorry I'm calling you out, you make a reckless, irresponsible, stupid, immature comment like you just made, and you have no answer, and all you say is, oh, common sense gun laws. Let me tell you something, Drew. You're a flat-out. You think common sense, what are you going to do, take somebody's handgun and rifle away from them? No, you're not. You can't do that. You can't do that from anybody. And you realize that, and you know it, and you're trying, in the midst of people,
I just think
in this horrible situation, Drew, for you to say that, I'm sorry. I think it shows. I think it shows. It shows who you are, man. I'm sorry, Drew. You and I talk a lot off air. That is the most insensitive, horrible thing you could say ever. It's the worst thing you've ever said because guns don't kill people. Handguns and rifles are not that's not common sense gun law. And you're going to hear a lot of Democrats, "Oh, we got to hear it all." Yeah, you'd get lost in the emotion. And when these things happen, people start thinking with emotion instead of their brains. And I could not imagine if it was my kids in that classroom, but at the same point in time, you can't take guns away, a handgun. And guess what? The bad guys aren't going to stop using them, Drew.
Exactly. I hate this democratic thought process, fairy tale idea that we can just, fix it like that. Like they're not going to find a way. They're not going to grab a knife. They're not going to put together a bomb. That would not be good. But that doesn't fix it, Drew. That's not going to happen.
Some of you guys may think I've lost my mind, but I cannot see how an 18-year-old kid, he just bought 2 guns, long guns, because you can do that in the state of Texas when you turn 18. How can an 18-year-old kid go to an elementary school and kill 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds?
I don't know how anybody could.
No, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. So a lot of you might think, well, he's just saying that because he's a Republican. It almost seems like this could be a setup by the Democrats to what?
There's
To
certainly
ban guns.
There's
correct?
certainly that
Drew, don't
side
bring my
on the other
kids
side.
into it, okay? Don't bring my kids into it. And I wouldn't feel differently.
How did he bring your kids into it?
Because he said that if
Oh,
those
on
were
the
my
Facebook
kids,
line?
if those were my kids at school, I'd feel differently. No, I wouldn't, because I am a lawful gun carrier. So no, I wouldn't feel any different.
I wouldn't either, Drew.
No.
We just started it off in regards. I could not imagine my kids being in that classroom, but taking all the handguns and rifles away from legally mature, responsible gun owners.
Doesn't even make any sense.
Drew, there's another part to that.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to protect my children if someone tries to come after them? That's what I want Drew to answer.
Well, you're never
what do you
gonna-
want me to do to protect my children? Simple as that.
You're never going to take everybody's guns.
Well, no, and if he was
That's just not
18,
gonna happen.
background check. I mean, was there anything bad in the background? I mean, did he have a background? Because he's calling for universal background checks on Facebook, and I don't think that would have fixed this problem.
Mental illness.
Yes.
I can understand that, but man,
No,
it
Chris,
almost seems like
you can't
this is
pick
almost,
out mental illness
No.
all the time.
No, but
It's
I understand
impossible.
that people
It's
have
called life.
I
Bad
understand
stuff
there's
is
people
gonna
out
happen
there
in
that
this
have
life.
mental illness,
And it
but
sucks.
beyond that, this just seems so over the top.
Oh, there's sheer evil out there.
Yeah, this is just so over the top that an 18-year-old kid would go kill 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds.
Right.
I mean, it's so over the top that it's almost like, is it a plan by the Democrats to help them get rid of guns? That's how over the top this school shooting is.
Cindy's like, we could have put $40 billion into protecting our schools. Instead, we sent $40 billion to Ukraine, where we have no strategic interest. Good point.
Yeah.
Somebody else from the Facebook line said, Drew, if your point's right, then Democrats are killing and have been killing millions and millions of kids since Roe v. Wade. So stay in your lane, Drew, according to that person.
It's so sad. So sad. And I would never take it to blame one side or the other. But now that Drew brings this up first thing in the morning.
This isn't a gun issue. This is a mental illness issue.
Yes.
This is a societal issue. This is a individual issue. I still haven't. How did this individual even get into the school?
Well, let's just be honest, Vic. If you really want to get into somewhere, you're going to get in.
No, not really.
Yeah, really,
I'm like,
you are.
No, here's
You are.
why.
You
Here's
are.
why.
If you're that
You
mental,
can't get into any of my kids' schools without being checked in.
Sure you can.
No, you can't.
No,
mine.
you can't.
Sure you can. You
Chris,
just start. I'm not even.
Chris, I'm
I'll
gonna
talk
tell
to you
you.
about it off the air. But yes, you can.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying is the doors are locked, Chris.
That door doesn't mean anything, Vic.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I guess I have
Door
to ring a
doesn't
bell.
mean anything.
right?
If you are in that mental state and you're going to go do something so over the top that like was done yesterday in Texas, do you think they care about that door?
Yeah, it's
If
not
he
a
wants
matter
to
about
get in
them
there-
caring about the door. Here's why, Chris, because there were There was a report, I think it was upwards of 20 incidents that were stopped because people couldn't get into school. You only hear
I
about the ones
understand.
that happen.
I get that.
But I'm telling you,
But if you want to get
security
in
is
there,
stopping a whole hell of a lot more than what are actually happening.
somebody said they had a 4-foot fence around the school. What good did that 4-foot fence do? It wouldn't matter if you had a 20-foot fence there.
Yeah, there's another issue here as well. As Robert says, agree with Chris, timing is on the side of the evildoer. That's true. I could get that. But at the same point in time, is it time you go the other way? Is it time for open carry in Texas? If somebody actually has a gun, and we've talked about it on this show so many times, where are people getting attacked? It's where they don't have guns on them. It's the flip side of this argument. You got to look at all the arguments. If somebody could actually protect themselves, how about a school resource officer actually being able to arm themselves? You going to tell me that's not safe? Get with the program. Use a mature way and intellect of thinking about this, not just an emotional one. Why can't a resource officer be armed? And then you let people know that they're armed. Give me a break. That's how you stop and attack the attacker. You don't just sit back and say, oh, we're just going to sit here and let people come and do what they did yesterday, even if it's one off the freaking reservation 18-year-old who has a lot of whacked out mental issues and societal issues going on. That's why I'm saying for any political party to try to use this for their advantage is reckless, and it'll show the true colors of somebody, because emotion should never take the place of intellect. And too many times
Never.
that's what humans do. They let their emotions go all crazy. Use the freaking resource officers. Put them back in schools. Put police there. You want to do that? That's how you protect. Give them weapons. See how the shooter likes being shot back immediately. Put in their place.
I just wish we had done more since
Instead of
Sandy
40
Hook.
billion to a country that we still don't know what the heck's going on, when their leader and their president is doing the media circuit and the tour circuit when allegedly he's being attacked by Russia. As I said from the get-go, it didn't add up. Something was weird about Ukraine when your country's under siege, and it is, and the people are the ones who I feel sorry for in Ukraine. But how can you be the leader? And you're out yet making all kinds of comments about American issues yesterday. Zelensky found the camera and all over the place yesterday. Anytime there needs to be a message put out, Zelensky's putting it out now. He's speaking on world matters.
Right.
When his country's under siege.
Right.
Like I said, most of the world, there's so many things going on. You have to be smart, intellect, take a step back and really think about it. Somebody from our Facebook line said, yeah, how about the distraction, the shiny toy again,
Yep.
the new toy? Take your mind over here. What else is going on? Robert says, how about paying teachers for gun training to those who wish to receive it? Let them conceal and carry and pay them extra every day they do. Bingo. Bam. You don't see shooters going to the gun range to try to shoot people, do you?
No.
You don't see them going to police stations and trying to shoot
Right,
people, do
I was
you?
just going to say that.
No.
No. You don't see them going to military bases and trying to shoot people, do you?
Right.
There's a reason.
Yep.
Because it's crazy and nasty and evil, and this is all evil. We talked about it yesterday. If you believe there's good in the world, then you have to believe there's evil. You have to believe there's death on that side. And not everything's supposed to be cookies, lemonade, poolside in this life, and it sucks, and it's hard to deal with. I cannot imagine the parents and thinking about my kids in a classroom like that.
And it's a tiny
But that doesn't mean you
community.
take guns away. Let's not lose track and lose sight of what's actually happening.
How about the Border Patrol agent?
Right?
Yeah. How about the Border
Wow.
Patrol agent?
Heard
exactly.
the call come out. That ain't even his area to
No.
do.
To
Didn't
say,
wait for anyone.
Didn't wait for nobody. Went in there and took out the shooter.
I love that part.
Joe Patterson, great line. Cowards attack the vulnerable. Cowards attack the
I got
vulnerable.
a different word for it, but I can't
Yeah,
say
and
it.
it's always been that way, and it's always going to be that way. Nothing's going to change. That's why eventually you have to stand up to the bully. You have to bully the bully. You attack the attacker. You're ready for what's coming. Guns aren't going to change it. Bad guys aren't going to stop using guns.
Nope.
No.
Illegal guns aren't going to stop coming into this country. You don't take away. So anybody to try to use this narrative from a political standpoint, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you for trying to use this for these innocent little children and their families going through the hell, and you're going to try to say that and bring this narrative out. And let me tell you something. I've done several stories with people who've lost family to violence and guns. And when you're in that moment, I could not imagine being in that moment. You're going to jump onto a message like, oh, yeah, if guns weren't here, then my kid would still be here. And you don't even think straight because you can't understand the devastation that somebody goes through when they lose a loved one or a child like that. So you'll see them jump on board a lot of times. Oh, my God, we got to get rid of guns. We got to get rid of guns. Deep breath. There's evil in the world. You have resource officers armed. Nothing like yesterday happens.
Right.
Nothing.
Not at that magnitude.
So if anybody wants to talk about common sense gun laws, what is a common sense gun law? You'll hear politicians, we need common sense gun laws. It's time. We got to make changes. What are the changes? Because so many times people like to say things that sound so good. What specifically are you talking about? How are you going to implement that? Mm-hmm. Really? What is the consequence of implementing the change that you want to make? Think about that. Now, Laura Lane back on. How about rather than spending another $40 billion to Ukraine, we use it in this country for school security systems? Jumping in again, Laura. Absolutely.
That would make no sense.
Absolutely.
That wouldn't make no sense.
Why? Oh, you use the money in the school system.
Joe would rather give it to Ukraine.
Joe who? Oh, President Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Well, I've said it so many times on this show. There's so many things orchestrated.
Harris addressed this before him?
I was wondering the same
Did
thing.
you see that?
We already know there's a lack of respect between the two. Kamala never went and did the job at the border. Biden, it's just national media refuses to cover the disrespect for the two, which is why I've always said national media is not coming back. Eric may disagree with me. National media is never coming back to the mainstream. Either way, there's one station that does it well. It's News Nation. That's it. That you'll get both sides of a story, even a third side. National media is never going to cover the stories anymore. They're not going to cover the rift between the two. Jill Biden came out a month and a half ago. She didn't come out, but the books are out there now. The quotes. She was pissed. Why do we have to take her as vice president? She was, quote, disrespectful to Joe. Talking about Kamala Harris. Joe Biden specifically appointed her, somebody who was underneath him, to go take care of the border. She never even showed up at the border. But as soon as there's a school shooting, she'll jump out there and she's front and center.
Right.
Which is why I say be careful of the politicians who look for tragedies to make their name bigger or better when they're failing in the ratings, when they're failing when it comes to approval ratings. Never capitalize on somebody's. Now, somebody may say, oh, well, we're just trying to help the situation. Really? What are your specifics? And how are you going to help the greater amount of people in this country when you have a tiny few who are affecting it? Make some great points from the Facebook line. Instead of spending $40 billion for Ukraine, why isn't that money going to protect school systems? Why aren't resource officers armed? You're going to take everybody's handguns, a woman's ability to protect herself? You can take away their handguns and a rifle? Machine guns were not used yesterday. Be smart. That's what I'm saying. I thought a lot about this before we came in. Be somebody who's going to think about it in an educational form. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't.
No.
You can't, because I'm not wrong. And it sucks what happened yesterday. I'm pissed off too, like we all are.
It's sad.
I'm really pissed off because I have a 7-year-old.
I know. I mean,
Troy Turner, let the elites give up their security and guards with guns first. Show us the way. Absolutely, Troy. I wish we could give out, like, shots or $20 bills to every great comment. Absolutely. Todd Bodecker says the officer at Parkway Middle is fully armed. I'm glad to hear that.
I think more should
Why
be.
aren't elementary schools? Once again, the cowards, the horrible evilness. Those people will always find a way to do something. We're coming out of the gate
I mean, I
strong.
get the whole mental illness talk to and how the guns are, but honestly, can we not just say that sometimes there's just straight evil, just pure evil? Someone is just like that, born like that. I programmed to be that way by whatever happened in their childhood, maybe, or who knows?
Yeah, maybe, but it's so over the top.
Well,
It's
you're also
almost like it's set up by
Chris.
something.
Well, Dave
I don't
Winslow
know.
just says Occupy Democrats website. Every post is vote out Republicans because they love guns. Is there another issue because
Right.
because there's supposed to be a red wave?
So now
coming?
they're trying to make money
But
off
then
of it.
but then Chris, then it goes, well, how do you make somebody go shoot kids? How are you doing that?
I don't know.
I had
if
another
it's a middle
person tell me that there's a situation going on where evil people are using frequencies for people's brains. I know it sounds crazy, and everybody's like, oh, it's conspiracy. But I'm telling you, many things in this life are already, they're preordained. They're planned. We already know that. And if you trust everything that's happening, it's just, we got to take a break. We're rocking and rolling this morning. We appreciate it. We'll continue to talk about this all throughout the day. But when we come back to, we'll switch gears a little bit. Rob Bazell's going to join us. He's going to call in, tell us about Sky Canopy. I might be able to help you with, from a marijuana standpoint, medical marijuana standpoint, what he's got going on. He became an expert in the vaccination specific related fields because of his daughter as well. We'll continue to take your calls, your questions. It is The Edge. We're rocking and rolling fast on this Wednesday morning. You can catch us on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Share the show as always. How you doing, Crystal? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all
I know
right.
you were worried about jumping into this because
I have children.
you have kids. I get it, that are elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, Rob's calling. Rob, I know you're calling. We'll get off the phone. It's my fault because we're going so long. Robert Peterball, we'll talk about it too. Robert said, yes, Vic. Yes, on the frequencies. People have no idea what's going on with this frequency issue either. We'll get back with more right after this. Chris Knight, Chris Cooper, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. Back with more right after this.
Edge morning traffic. Despite wet roads this morning, the morning commute hasn't been too crazy, at least in St. Charles County, where traffic is moving on I-70 and on 6440. Drivers in South St. Louis County are facing backups traveling northbound from an earlier three-car crash near Gravois. That backup is to I-55. There are reports of a crash that's reported near Natural Bridge near Umsel. 55, a slow go through the construction zone, and then 270 southbound slow in West St. Louis County from Maryland Heights down through Creve Coeur. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose. That's your Edge morning traffic.
Grab your coffee. The Morning Edge will be right back on 100.7 The Viper.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. So good, you gotta try it. With Straight Talk, you can get our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month. Now with unlimited high-speed data, plus 5 gigabytes hotspot data, and no contract, with nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot for your data when you can get unlimited for a whole lot less? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Hey, you! Ever wanted to learn a language like French or Spanish or even Norwegian, but thought it'd be too difficult or time-consuming? Then try Babbel. Quick 10-minute lessons.
Siesta.
Bambola. Games, podcasts, even live online classes with a real teacher.
Hola, clase.
In no time, chatting about real-life topics will feel, well, effortless. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. Strokes are the leading cause of death and serious disability nationwide and around the world, but it doesn't have to be. Knowing the signs and symptoms of a stroke and taking quick action by calling 911 to get to a hospital like Barnes Jewish St. Peter's or Progress West for fast, accurate treatments is critical. Learn more about strokes and see if you're at risk by visiting bjc.org/stroke. That's bjc.org/stroke.
Please leave a message at the beep.
Hey, it's fun. Remember me? Miss you, buddy. Look, I know it's been a minute, but we gotta get the fam back down to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They've got 3 of the top 5 water coasters in the world. Remember getting soaked on Mammoth and Cheetah Chase? Or screaming down monster roller coasters like Thunderbird and Voyage? Tickets are still at holidayworld.com. Oh, the kids want to say something. Go ahead.
If you are having a bad day at work, I can help. Hi, this is Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. We just expanded to Cottleville and St. Peters and are looking for qualified automotive and auto body technicians that would want to work in a climate-controlled environment. That's right, we offer a fully climate-controlled, air-conditioned and heated facility in both Cottleville and St. Peters. Visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code FALL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code FALL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FALL.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It is the Edge. Joe Johnson's here, Chris Knight, Crystal Cooper, and I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We got a lot going on today. We really do. Amazing radio in the first segment that we had. Appreciate everybody jumping on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Share the show as always. Evil stuff happens in the world. The shooting and Texas yesterday was evil. 21 people, innocent people were killed. We don't even have to talk about the 22nd. There's always going to be evil, unfortunately, and we'll continue that talk throughout the day. And we had something scheduled already, so it's a big put the brakes on type of a situation there, but we talked with friend of the show, Rob Bazell with Sky Canopy. Rob, thanks for joining us. Sorry that we throw you in the middle of, with your good news, in the middle of all the bad stuff that is happening in regards to the shooting yesterday. But we did want to catch up with you when we can. If you could kind of give us an update of what's happening now with the company where you are. You've proven to be an expert when it came to the vaccination world with your daughter who had epilepsy. And then, of course, you developed a company using marijuana for medical purposes. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Vic? Good talking to you again. Yeah, it's just really sad what happened yesterday, but yeah, I mean, all we can do is pray for these families. God only knows what they're going through, you know?
Yeah, you can't even really put a word on what's happening there. We're going to continue to talk about that throughout the entire day, at least on this show. Which is why we had you on specifically to come talk about what's happening with Sky Canopy and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so right now we got our first home. We're down at 911 Wash Ave. So right now I'm working on more intellectual property, working on, instead of just putting one drug through the trials, having multiple ones. Kind of what you talked about, taking an anti-epileptic drug and combining it with a cannabis extract. And kind of making it into a drug. It's what worked for my child. I mean, a couple of the drugs that I want to put it head-to-head against, one of them is about $1 billion a year in that industry. The other one's about $400 million. So that ends up being about 17% of a $10 billion market. I think if we put them in the studies, all it is, efficacy and safety. And I've seen it firsthand as far as it being more efficient. I mean, I can see less seizures. I can see it in medical records to back all this up. And so, yeah, I've talked to Biopharma Services, like we talked about here at St. Louis. They want to hold the phase 1 trials. And I'm working with a company called Accordo Regulatory Solutions. They're helping put a full scope on everything and how much it's going to cost. That's kind of where we're at right now. But I'm really excited because they have the right people over there that have worked on getting drugs FDA approved for 20 some odd years, working on, selling drugs in the EU as well as Japan. So, yeah, things are moving in the right direction, Vic. I just want to get this out to people sooner than later, because with what we're doing is actually lowering the dose of a pharmaceutical, and it actually it made it more efficient in ways. And I think the trials are going to show that. So, yeah, it's kind of where we're at, man.
Todd Bodecker from the Facebook line says, good luck going against pharma. Do you feel as if you're going against pharma?
No, I think actually we're going to end up having to have a talk here soon, because once those trials show as far as safety and efficacy, I mean, we're going to have to sit down and talk. I think the end goal is to try to help people, but I get I don't know. I get what he's saying, but I mean, I don't know. We need to do something, you know what I mean? And I feel like if it's more safe and effective, it's for children down to just 1 year old to help with refractory or intractable epilepsy, them suffering from seizures. And really, my concern isn't pharma, it's those children, and we want to help them as soon as we can.
Are you guys trying to help and offer products for other individuals as well?
Absolutely. So I was just talking about, we're getting a full list of IP, some intellectual property, getting more patents to treat different types of epilepsy. And so, yes, the worst cases of intractable epilepsy are in children younger than 3 and the elderly. That's who it affects the most. So 1 out of 3 epileptics suffer from seizures that they just can't control. And I feel like I have something when we put it into trials, we're going to be able to save a lot of lives and help a lot of people right now that don't have any medications currently that are working for them. And yeah, it affects all people, not just children.
I'll go ahead and ask another question then. How is your daughter doing?
She's doing good. She's 6 years old now. She wasn't supposed to live past the age of 3. She went from, like we've been talking about, thousands of seizures a day down to just 1 on her most recent EEG. So it's just been a blessing. She's in school. She's doing great. She played soccer last year. These were things that we were told was never going to happen. And so, yeah, I'm just happy, and that Sky's doing as good as she is. She's great, man. And yeah, it's just been a blessing.
Hey, Rob, how can people get involved with the company before we let you go this morning, or get involved or back if this is something that they feel strongly in?
Yeah, when we get to the point eventually, I'm working on a valuation right now for my company, and I'm going to give an opportunity for people that have been following, our story, and those that believe in the product, that have believed in us and really had prayers for my child when all this started, for them to have an opportunity to help a lot of people and hopefully help themselves out too. So I'm at the point right now, man, where I'm trying to just put everything together. And once I get it together, any help would be appreciated.
Rob, we appreciate it, bud. Thanks for taking some time to call us this morning in the midst of the other national tragedy that's going on, my friend. So thanks again, and try to have a good day.
Thanks, Vic.
All right. Thanks again. Rob is with Sky Canopy talking about what he has going on.
I love that. I didn't want to interject. You were doing very well, and I wanted to hear him because I wanted some education as well. But I am so happy to hear his daughter has just completely flipped the other way and is doing well. That's awesome.
Yeah, and when I first met him, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago maybe now? Gosh, maybe 5.5. I don't. And, she's having thousands of seizures, and you watch it, you see it. It's terrible. It's horrible.
I'm very blessed to have healthy children.
By the way, coming up at 9:30, Steve Ellman will join us about the St. Charles County Blueways. We did Chris Higgins, an amazing piece on that. Some more positive stories at the end of what's not going to be great talking to what we have been coming up at 9:30 today. It's clear what everybody's still talking about. It's the whole shooting yesterday. I mean, it's blowing up the Facebook line. It has all day with the whole universal background checks. If that's what's really gonna help or hurt. You were talking about universal background checks as well, but you really don't think that that's gonna solve any problems.
Well, I think that it's okay that we all agree that it's a great idea. But my thing is whether we all agree on it 90%, I think is what the Facebook line said. Whether it's 90% that we agree or not, that doesn't mean that that is the thing that will fix this. That would not have necessarily stopped yesterday. So it's great that we all agree. And if we want to go ahead and do that, that's fine. But like Chris, you said earlier, if they want to get in a place, they're going to get in a place. If they want to hurt people, they're going to figure out a way to hurt people. Simple as that.
Peggy from the Facebook line, and people are lighting it up today, and we appreciate you joining us for The Edge and on The Edge. Facebook 100.7 The Viper. Share the show as well. Peggy says, is anybody paying attention to the illegal guns and drugs that this administration is letting come across the border? Americans need to have guns for their own protection, as we've talked about.
Oh, we have people coming across the border?
Yeah, but once again, we don't talk about that.
I didn't know.
Colonel Joe Adams, who first brought to the media airwaves here a few years ago, talks about it not being a crisis, being a disaster, but we're not talking about it because national media isn't shining a spotlight on everything that's happening. It's a side story, but it is a big story, no doubt about it. Eric, you want to join the show today, bud?
No, I'm having a good time listening to you guys.
I'm sure
actually.
you are.
I am.
We're damn good, and I know.
It's disheartening with all this stuff that's going on. 19 little kids shot up, and I'm trying to figure out what the story is. Is the story about guns? Is the story about arming receptionists at schools? Is the story about American president that jumps on this opportunity is as quick as possible?
All three of those,
to politicize this? Is the story about illegal immigration? Is the story of I cannot figure it out.
It's not illegal immigration, but the other three, absolutely it is.
So, to me, when I look at this, it has nothing to do with the hardware.
Right. Slow Joe has been slow with everything else. But like you're saying, he jumped on this.
So the story, when you try to put this in order, the story has nothing to do with the gun.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the body armor. It has nothing to do with the kids actually that were even shot, which is the saddest part of the whole story. The story is about, to me, how this country has lost its morality, how this country has no ability to manage itself anymore, how this country has mental health issues. And where are the mental health issues coming from? Are these health issues coming from social media? Are these mental health issues coming from desensitized
lack of
society?
Parenting?
Yes.
Is it coming from
all of it?
Right.
All of it.
The superficial story, to me, is how this invalid of a president walks out behind a podium and gives this ranting, very divisive message to the country in a time where
he needs ratings.
He needs a damn bed. Is what
I
he
don't
needs.
care. Yeah, he shouldn't have jumped so quickly to getting upset. This is a time to console and what do they say? Consoler in chief, right? That is not, in my opinion, what he was yesterday.
This is
at
scripted.
all.
This is scripted. Okay. And then I don't know what the conspiracy theory is behind it, to be honest with you, but it's scripted. Something is happening where they jump on these opportunities. They don't jump on fuel prices and opportunity, but there's millions of people being hurt by it. They don't jump on illegal immigration, 18,000 people coming over to cross. That's a crisis as well. They don't jump on America. They don't jump on United States cities, urban areas where there will be 19 murders before the end of today. So
mass shootings happen every day.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
This is a horrible event because there will be network cameras out there filming grieving parents and some emotionally slow kid was I don't know the story, but I heard that he had guns on TikTok, on Facebook, that this becomes a virtual reality to these kids. And before you know it, their mind snaps.
Bingo.
And they take their hardware it could have been a knife. The guy could have been playing Mortal Kombat and wanted to kill people with his hands and a knife. But instead, he's desensitized by this country. There's no one in any place to help this guy. Social media doesn't shut it down immediately. They let it go.
Social media is a major problem.
It is a major problem. So if you're old like I am, you'll remember Columbine. And you'll remember other schools that this has happened to. And you'll remember that this happens the same way. You'll have the government now debating whether to take away people's guns and doing ID checks and that of whatnot. Well, there's this amendment. It's a Second Amendment that stands in the way of everything. And so what this is doing is basically today, whatever cliff you stand on, it's dividing us more and more and more. Instead of Sleepy Joe, like Chris called him, he should have come out and said, the fabric of this country is completely busted. As the president, I have to figure out what is going on to make this country run smooth again. But that's not the opportunity. The opportunity is to divide and conquer more. So what's the story?
There's no president that can cure the mental illness issue that we have right now at any time quickly. It's not possible.
And it
right
really
now.
isn't his job.
No.
His job is not to
You're
to
supposed
go
to be
in,
a uniter.
Yes. His job is not to help fund mental services in some little town in Texas. That's not his job. It's the community's job. It's Mark Zuckerberg's job to say, AR-15 on my social media platform, and he's saying really weird things. Get him down. Somebody, as a matter of fact, send a counselor over to his house if you'd be so kind.
Why don't they do ID checks before they allow you to create social media accounts?
Well, I mean, that's what do you mean ID checks?
Well, that's part of the problem, and it's a big part of the problem that you're getting anybody and everybody can create an account, as this young man did. A lot of people, a lot of kids, they flourish guns. They think it's cool to do it on social media.
Yeah, no, I know. But, that I get it. The evil that's out
this
there.
This kid was 18 years old.
You got to believe
he couldn't
that
even go to a bar and buy a beer.
No, I know.
But he can go into a school and shoot it up.
It's the programming of these kids' brains.
Bingo.
That's it.
It is. But programming of kids' brains starts with social media
and
parents,
the family. It starts with.
But it's not just that. Social media, mental illness, also music.
Yep.
All of this stuff is in there. I was talking about megahertz music, Eric. I'll send you some stuff.
Okay.
You and I haven't had it. I've been studying this recently. It's blowing my mind what frequencies do not only to kids, but to adults as well. But it really affects kids' brains, which aren't fully developed, when you play music at a certain megahertz.
I totally agree with that. Yes, I agree with that.
There's know this.
442.
Yes.
442.
Yes.
That's the frequency of the universe.
And
it's a perfect
when you
frequency.
go low, it programs into your brain death, destruction, depression, every horrible thing that you can imagine. And guess what at megahertz much of the music is played at? It's that lower
A440.
It's
that
lower
A442.
frequency.
It's actually that little.
I don't want to sound stupid.
No,
but
you're
I'm
right.
just now starting to learn about it and scratch the surface, and it
That's
blows my
interesting.
mind.
You would literally have to get some kind of a physician on to. I mean, you're right. That is too conspiratorial. But every time I hear it, you're
But it's not conspiratorial.
I know
as
it's
I'm
not.
learning now.
I know. Vibration is what the universe. It's what the universe is built on. Everything has a vibration. This wall has a vibration.
Robert says higher the better. 5G, watch out. I mean, we attack issues on this show that nobody else does. Nobody else will. And
unfortunately, with the 5G thing right now, anyway, you have to kind of scrub the common denominator. What did you have 5G back at Columbine? Did you have 5G in Florida with that? No, you didn't. You can't throw that stuff in right now. I think this is much simpler. And I don't know this kid. I don't know him. I'm sure he had a cell phone, and I'm sure he was scrolling through his cell phone like every other kid. And what some kids might like TikToks and the little cute dogs, this kid might have liked, militant stuff, and he might have been bullied. Who knows? But this is the most logical answer. It's like a computer. Your brain is like a computer. You get it when it's born. It seems to run right. That's a baby. Whatever you put into that computer is how it's going to operate from that point forward. If you get malicious malware, if your computer's infected, you put too much stuff on it. The computer's not going to run right anymore. And that's what's happening to these kids.
5G can be dialed up and it can be dialed down. I also want to know, because I did see this on the frequency, the blockchain that you can look at, as Robert says, and he seems to know a lot about this, 528 HZ is the love frequency. How do you tell what music is being played?
You don't.
At what frequency?
You can. So the easiest way to do it, Vic, and this is interesting. It's fascinating. He's right. I don't know how it. They've calculated that the vibration of the universe, I don't know how they did it, is at 440 hertz. It means the wave cycle goes 440 times.
And
back
anything
and forth.
above that is a love frequency. It makes you happy.
Right.
Or happier.
Why don't they just keep
And
it
you're
up?
saying anything below that does the opposite.
Well, we need to
the
keep
death,
the love
destruction,
frequency.
depression. Well, hell yes. But that's what I'm trying to understand, who's in control of that. And all of these things can play in to why people go through mental illness, to why something like yesterday happens. There is a connection with all of this.
Hip hop goes down to sub frequencies you can't even hear. And they go so low, and maybe that's what they're talking about.
That's what it is. And
so when you hear bass in a hip hop song,
and that's what's addicting to young kids too.
it goes like 2
And if you think that
octaves.
taking away handguns and rifles from law-abiding Americans is going to stop or be a better or a good thing, you better come and prove it, because I'm still trying to figure out how that's going to help. Because a rifle, a simple rifle and a simple handgun is what was used yesterday when you have innocent kids who aren't being protected and could be protected, literally sitting there and going through this, and then the families are the ones who are left behind.
So what's
dealing with
this?
all of this.
So
Oh,
what?
that reminds me. Did you see what Michael Moore said on NBC, MSNBC?
No, what?
Maybe we have to pull up that sound, Chris. But he talked about the Second Amendment, just basically like flat out came out and said, you can't just take it away. They can't just come out and say that. But I mean, he basically gave away their game plan, right? He's not supposed to be saying that.
Game plan is look. The Democrats' game plan, if they had no opposition in the Super Bowl, if there was no one else showing up for the other side, they would run. Here's their play: I write, take away everyone's guns on one, ready, break, and they would throw the ball, and that would be their touchdown. They don't want American citizens having guns. Period. Why? Nobody knows. But they are trying to incrementally take away rights to people who are armed. That's the bottom line. And why are we seeing such a frenzy today? Because this is one step closer to that goal. That's it. So is that the story? Is that the story you want to cover today? Taking away people's guns when that really isn't the story? And like Vic said earlier in the show, be smart. Remember those words he used? That's not very smart. That's a shiny object.
Yeah, just use your
shiny object.
You can't in life.
Look
it's
over
so
here.
hard. I've had a problem with it too. You can't let your emotion ever get the best of a situation. I've been guilty of it. You've got to think with intellect. You've got to think whatever it takes. Stop thinking emotional, because emotional reactions are quick actions.
Yes.
They're responsive, they're impulsive, and most of the time they're not good ones.
Yeah.
And I know, because I've made these mistakes. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better. You've got to think with intellect.
It's like an engine. It's like an engine. When you take your car in, let's say your car stops running on the highway, and you take your car in, and the mechanic looks in and goes, and you go, what's the problem, sir? And they go, well, it's your engine. Well, thanks for yes, you're right. It is my engine. But what's wrong with the engine? That's what this story is about for the Democrats. It's the gun. Mm-hmm. No, the gun was the thing that they used to commit this crime. What happened to the kid to make him walk under the bridge to start taking out 19 kids and one teacher? What? It's not that. Drill down a little bit farther. Was it the oil can? Was it the alternator? What do I have to replace here?
Alan Smith says hip hop and gang rap that's played at that frequency
No
is
doubt.
the scourge of society.
No doubt. That's not even debatable anymore. It's not. When you have kids that are getting their brains programmed at the age of 6.
says rap makes me crabby when I listen to it. Maybe there's something to it. I don't. There's just a several.
I don't know.
Eric
I
says
listen to that. It doesn't make me upset.
several. Yeah, and it's an individual. Several factors can play into things.
I remember back when I was coming up.
I just think all music makes me happy, though, to be honest.
I want to know what's
It's
being
that-
played at 528 because I'm convinced it's Blink-182 and the groups that I like.
You
that
can
Eric makes
find
fun
out.
of.
You can find out. You can find out.
Because I like all the happy music.
You can
And-
find out. But when I was coming up, it was Tipper Gore. You remember that whole thing back in the day?
Oh my God, Eric! Nobody even knows who Tipper Gore is.
I know.
Sorry.
So Tipper Gore was Al Gore's wife, and
I
she
know
had
who
this,
she is, but most
she
of
had
our
this
listeners-
initiative about censoring music. And one of the groups that they went out after was this group called Twisted Sister. Do you remember Twisted Sister? Come on,
Oh, yes, Eric, of course.
Remember that? And it was bang. What was
We
this?
do.
I don't remember
Crystal
the song. they had.
doesn't.
You don't
'Cause
remember that?
Crystal's a millennial.
I don't remember it, but I know who Twisted Sister is.
Well, I Want to Rock. Remember that song, I Want to Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was Twisted Sister. And they would come after him for the lyrics and the debauchery and this guy dressed up in makeup. And it was like, you got to censor this. These kids are getting jacked up. Oh, my God. You listen to that stuff now, it's like bad country music compared to what they're listening to now. But Tipper might have been onto something because music does program what is happening in that era's adolescence. It does. It has an effect. The Beatles had an effect on the 16-year-olds back in the 60s. Led Zeppelin had an effect on the 70s crowd. What is having an effect right now? People like me who are unplugged from it. I happened to listen to some of that in the last couple of weeks. I did, Vic. And the lyrics in the gangster rap are insane.
I know.
I mean,
it is.
It's insane, the lyrics. And if there's any truth to this frequency thing,
there is. But hey,
wow, you have the trifecta.
I don't want people to get pissed at me, but Drew Collins brings up a good point here. I have to bring it up. There's plenty of satanic messages in metal music
no
as
doubt.
well.
No
Yeah.
doubt. Absolutely no doubt.
We try to be fair.
Go
I
listen
hate
to
this, though,
band
because
Ghost.
At what point is that just art? I mean, are we just taking
It's
these
not-
words too seriously? I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
it's the
Because
whole
This
like
is a
word.
great point. I'm glad
because
you brought
art,
this up.
It bothers
it's
me.
impression.
I disagree with you, but I'm glad you bring it up because you need to be heard on this.
Art is fine, but here's the problem, Crystal. When a kid lives in their room and their art is their life, okay? My art, you guys do your own experiment. What was your quote unquote art when you were 13 to 22 years old? What was your art? Mine was Robin Trower. It was Van Halen, and it was riding motorcycles. That was my art. That's what I like to do. What was your art? Now, back up to today. What are the kids' arts? I'll generalize for Drew Collins real fast. Today's kids, their medium is an iPad. Their medium can go anywhere in the world. Their medium is this gangster rap. It is EDM music, which we talk about the frequencies. It is imagery that might be a little bit more salacious than what we're used to.
Eric,
right?
we got to go.
So do the experiment by yourself.
We are way past break. That's my fault. I got so entrapped in it too. I didn't even try to cut you off. Chris, I'm sorry about that, man, because I know you're trying to run the board. All right, we got a lot going on. We got to get to break. We'll be right back with your news, your sports, your birthdays. We're going to continue this talk. Steve Elman coming up at 9:30 with some more positive news about St. Charles County. Don't go anywhere. Share the show. Get your comments in. We're trying to read your comments as well. More of The Edge right after this. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Crystal Cooper. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Back with more right after this.
Edge Morning Traffic.
Good morning. It's Molly Rose from the Viper Traffic Center. I want to bring you a live traffic update at this hour because we are following a new crash here in St. Charles County on 70 eastbound at TRQs. Taking a look at the live MoDOT camera there, I see at least 4 vehicles involved in this and 2 fire trucks pulling up to the scene. So they have the far left lane closed off. They have a couple people walking around at the scene, and then they have the far right lane partially blocked from the vehicles on the shoulder. So just measured out the delays. Looks like the backups are near Highway K right now. Just be aware you will hit those delays if you travel eastbound on 70. Once again, that's at TRQs. MoDOT's estimating it could be about an hour before they get that one cleared. We had an earlier accident that was Highway 94 eastbound just past all of that road work near 364. Looks like that is cleared and traffic has been back out through that area. And then an earlier crash 6440 eastbound near Big Bend, out of the way. Traffic moving again through there, but do prepare for delays 55 as you travel through that construction zone. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose, and that is your Edge Morning Traffic.
The new abnormal.
This place is a nut house.
The Edge Morning Show.
Hey, it's Shanny for Mascots Bar and Grill, and I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a place to watch the game with friends, Cardinals, Blues, whatever, it's Mascots Bar and Grill. If you're looking for a place for happy hour, it's Mascots Bar and Grill. Heck, grab some friends, get a table, and play rock and roll bingo every night and twice on Saturdays at Mascots Bar and Grill. You can win some great prizes. Seriously, great prizes at Mascots for playing rock and roll bingo. And it's absolutely free to play. Wednesday night is ladies' night, and you won't believe the specials they have going on there. Come by for lunch. They're the home of the legendary lunch special. You go tell them you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want that big old burger and fries for just $5, and they're going to give it to you fresh and hot, just the way you ordered it, and it's so delicious, and you don't have to do the dishes. If you go once, you will go again and again. Mascots Bar and Grill, home of the legendary lunch special.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell.
Oh, thanks. I can read.
And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning?
Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-624-7544. 800-624-7544. 800-624-7544.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Live on 100.7.
The Viper.
My daughter used to be a shining star. I would tell her, there's nothing you can't do. Now, it's like living with a stranger. It happens so fast. Centerpoint Hospital, real help for addiction and hope for a bright future.
If a young person dear to you is facing substance use, the Changing Point at Centerpoint Hospital now offers adolescent treatment solutions with detox, 4-week residential, and outpatient treatment. The Changing Point for adolescents at Centerpoint Hospital, hope for a bright future.
Now another hour of the Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles and KYRO AM and FM Troy. The Edge Morning Show.
You've worked from home, and now home can be anywhere you want with an RV from Bill Thomas Camper Sales. RV travel is the ultimate social distancing for your family, and you know what you have with you and where it's been. For 55 years locally, family-owned, Bill Thomas Camper Sales has had the highest quality for every budget, and they have guidelines in place for your safe shopping experience. Travel in comfort and safety with a visit to Bill Thomas Camper Sales in Wentzville. For details, hours, and directions, go to btcamper.com.
Viper weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray back into the unsettled weather pattern for the next couple of days. Scattered showers and thunderstorms today. The best chance of seeing a strong thunderstorm here and there will be during the afternoon hours. It's a windy day, 75 to 80 degrees. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms. It stays windy, especially during the evening, 60 degrees. Thursday and Thursday night, scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms, but cooler on Thursday, 68. Friday, I think clouds are going to dominate with fading showers, temperatures in the 60s. The holiday weekend, Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny skies and dry, warming up to 80 to 85 degrees. Monday for the holiday, sunny and pretty close to 90. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. 9:03 is our time. Let's get to some of these headlines. A woman was shot in the hip in South St. Louis this morning. Thankfully, we're told that it's not a life-threatening injury. However, she has been taken to the hospital. The search for a suspect is on right now as well. We've been talking about the horrible, unthinkable tragedy that occurred yesterday. Well, gun safety advocates say the most firearm deaths don't happen during, quote, mass shootings like this. They actually happen, according to Everytown for Gun Safety. An analysis that filed reports between 2009 and 2020 said that the gun mass shootings are happening. 99% of the firearm deaths did not happen during the mass shooting. So that just kind of something, some food for thought. Also, we're going to be talking about this at 9:30. St. Louis has a new area. It's an all-natural destination for water recreation. It's called the Dardine Creek Blueway, and it's located in St. Charles County. So it's a really cool thing that's going to be happening. We're going to talk about that coming up at 9:30, a network of approved, branded multi-activity recreational trails, which are closely linked with water. So that's a good thing as well. St. Louis area leaders are reacting to the mass shooting yesterday. You can read those on fox2now.com. Also, you've got a situation still with the 72-year-old woman, Carol Schulte, from yesterday. She still has not been found. She was the one that the search was going on live during our radio show that we brought you the video from Fox 2 by Maria Automotive Group Skyfox camera. She has not been found. Now there's reports that maybe she never even went inside for a walk. So we'll continue to follow that as well. Sports, Cardinals got walloped last night by the Toronto Blue Jays. They didn't show up. They took the day off. So I hope you enjoyed your day off. You better get back to action tonight and do something to show up and play. Pitching, hitting, everything. The Blues play tonight. Can they win? We'll see. Let's look at your morning headlines and sports. I'm Vic Faust.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday. That's right, I served you cake. I'm Peggy. Pull your leggy.
Happy birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Go.
All right, let's do some celebrity birthdays today. It is May 25th. I'm going to start off with a legend. You'll know this guy, Eric. Sir Ian McKellen. Oh, come on.
I'm sure I do. Who is it?
Gandalf.
Oh, Gandalf.
Gandalf.
Is that an old joke?
So he is 83 today.
Yeah.
Another guy kind of up there, known more for like voiceover acting, stuff like that. Voice of Yoda, Frank Oz. He also did a bunch of the Muppets.
You will behave, Vic. You will.
That's great, Eric.
He's 78 today. Happy birthday to him. Mike Myers turns 59. I actually heard he's going to reprise his Dr. Evil role.
Yeah,
Sounds
baby.
like there's another one coming out. How about Octavia Spencer? She's 52 today.
Who's that?
Oh, she served the pie. Oh, what is that movie?
American Pie?
No. Oh my gosh. Somebody help me out here. She served
The pie?
the pie
Okay.
as like getting back and oh man, that's bothering me. I can't
We'll
remember the
figure
movie.
it out.
We're gonna move on.
Drew Collins will let us know.
So one of my favorite shows right now, I don't know if anybody else watches it, but Peaky Blinders, actually getting ready to come out with another season. Cillian Murphy turns 46 today.
By the way, I'm glad somebody else brought up that I don't watch anything because I'm so damn busy. But I would watch it going to bed or sleep. Peaky Blinders.
I love it.
Because nobody knew about that show except me.
And it's coming back.
And that actor is one of my favorite actors.
I agree.
The guy's amazing.
He's great. Well, he's 46 today. And then we have some athletes, 2 Olympians. Allie Reisman turns 28 today. She won those 3
Gymnast.
gold. Yep, gymnast. And then if anybody knows, I'm a volleyball player. So Logan Tom, she actually played for us in the Olympics as well. And then moving on to baseball, we got Miguel Tejada today.
Miguel Tejada.
And then Chris Young. And I wanted to bring this up because this guy's super cool. He was all-star ready for the Padres. Okay. 6'10" guy, tall as Randy Johnson. After 13 years in his playing career, he decided to become the general manager of the Texas Rangers.
Oh, okay.
So look at that. Full circle, right?
Yeah.
I think
Kind of,
I'd
sort
like
of,
to-
actually. Yeah.
I'd like to play for a player. I think that makes sense.
I think it would be a fantastic thing, but I would much rather play for a non-player that was a badass. Lou Piniella.
Oh, yeah. That's a good choice.
But I think he was a player, actually, but like way back in the 1300s. I can't remember.
Well, happy birthday to all of our famous friends today.
Good morning. Good morning.
What are you doing?
I'm drinking wine.
Oh, it's a little early for wine. It's National Wine Day.
I love wine and everything about it.
Guys, are we drinking wine?
I found myself drinking a glass of wine every day.
A little wine for the occasion. National Wine Day. Wine Country train is leaving the station. You ready?
Happy Wines Day.
It's showtime.
Oh, yeah. Happy Wine Day. You're listening to The Edge.
Oh, it was The Help. That's the movie.
Yeah, everybody, our Facebook line
guy.
lit up
Thank
with
you
The
guys.
Help.
You were one of them last week. You should have known this. I would have literally looked at Crystal, said, "Who was it, Crystal?" You wouldn't have known. But Google knows everybody. Google
That's
knows
awesome.
everybody.
That's Eric Johnson, Chris Knight's here, Crystal Cooper, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. Eric, you kind of remind me of a bougie guy that would drink wine.
I look bougie to you?
Yeah.
I love wine.
There
have nothing
you
of-
go. I could see that.
I like wine.
Every alcoholic beverage is it. You have
I
to
could
be.
just hear you going,
in
hey,
the-
I'm Eric Johnson. Would you like some of my
You would
cab?
never see me drinking wine at the Diamond Music Hall.
Well,
Hell
not
no.
at the Diamond
But
Music. They don't even serve wine there.
if they did, you would never say, "Can I
They
get a
serve
nice
the
Merlot?"
old boons there is what they serve.
They would disagree with you. But if you're at the winery, why would you drink cocktails if you're at a beautiful winery in Defiance? or
Because you
wherever?
don't like wine. Or
I do like
or-
wine.
No,
I do.
no, I'm saying the individual. You're asking the hypothetical, so I'm
Okay.
answering the hypothetical. Because either you don't like their wine, because a lot of people that I know that really like wine don't necessarily find the kind of wine that they like
Here.
over at those
Yeah.
wineries.
See, I would never
They'd rather
drink.
have the wineries from Napa.
I would never drink wine at a Cardinals game. It's to me a Cardinals game
Or
is
Camus.
a Camus. What the hell is
only
that?
wine to drink. You don't know what Camus
No.
is? Okay.
No, but I used to go to.
Camus wine is the best wine there is.
I
Oh,
think-
can
I
that
think-
be my taste test?
I think San
you
Michelle.
bring wine for me, Skittles for you, sushi for Chris. Yeah.
San
Sushi
Michelle.
for me?
San Michelle up in Seattle was the best Riesling on the planet. It really was. If you like the sweet stuff,
Yeah. If
if you like the sweet stuff,
I do. That's for me.
I'll get you some
And
of San
Camus.
Michelle Riesling. Camus. That sounds like a little. It sounds like a little alligator.
Camus is amazing. It is, and I'm not a wine guy at all.
Okay.
But if Camus is there, Camus will be consumed.
It's all about where you're at. If you're around Chris, it's about the.
It's only like $30
about the blue
a glass for people who drink
About
that.
the what?
If you're around Chris, it's about the Vegas bomb, the cherry bomb. It's something
Patron.
bomb.
No, it's not. It's about Patron.
It used to be about the bomb.
Yeah, and you left the other night
Well, you have to leave sometime, Chris. And
because
see,
you knew that tequila
because
was
I
coming.
I knew it was coming. See, the thing, Joe De Niro once told me, he goes, "Hey, man," I go, we were at a Christmas party, and he looked at Chris, and he goes, you always have to know where there's a door behind you so that you can escape from Chris's machine gun style of presenting shots. His machine gun style. It's not a one-on-one, like, here's a shot for you, here's a shot for me. Here's 10 for you, and
Vic
here's one for
knows.
me.
Vic knows.
Yeah, I had to race out.
Yeah.
He
Except
did,
by the
too.
I raced out, but I didn't know where the door was.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
And let me just say this to the Blues. The shots that Chris buys at the Blues are in these little chocolate cups, and it's like amber. What is it in that? I can't remember.
Bailey's.
Bailey's and vodka.
Yes, and
Those
an
are-
edible chocolate cup.
Those
Yeah,
are
you put the Baileys in the chocolate
They're the
cup.
best. It's the best shot known to mankind.
It looks like a shot you would give your kid. No, you can't. You would never give your kid these shots. Those things
Eric
are
is not-
potent.
yeah.
What I do is I take the shot and then I would just give Vic the chocolate. I'm not a big
No,
chocolate
you can't.
fan.
You have to
No, you
drink
got-
it.
it's
and
a
then
whole
you
Oh,
eat
you
it.
say that because you know I like chocolate.
Yeah.
It's a
Because
whole
I-
chocolate.
I'm
was
not.
nice.
I'm not a big chocolate fan. So if one of y'all would eat the chocolate, I'll do the shot.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go.
Why were you bringing up wine? Was
Why do you think I was bringing up wine?
I don't know.
It's
Why
Because
do you
today's
think?
National Wine
We just
Day,
played the
Eric.
damn wine song coming into.
They literally do not
Red,
pay me to listen to the
red
intros on this show. It's in my contract. I don't listen to the intros.
Well, here, we'll play it again.
No,
for you.
please. I don't need
drinking wine.
I don't need to hear this. I get it. It's wine day.
It's
Yeah.
wine day.
It's National Wine Day.
Every
I
day
love to hear
has
that
something
National
to it.
Wine Day.
Okay, fine.
It's red wine and Riesling Day. And Riesling Wine Day. Hey, guys, welcome back to the show. It is the Edge, Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Crystal Cooper. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We try to find some light in all the darkness from happened yesterday, so we try to have a little bit of fun at the same point in time. We'll talk with Steve Ellman coming up at 9:30. Something really cool going on with waterways, the blueways, recreational water activity throughout St. Charles County. St. Charles County really utilizing the resources they have. Awesome. Just an awesome story. Great story on Fox 2 last night. Our meteorologist, Chris Higgins, did a fantastic job. So we'll talk with Steve coming up about that at 6:30,
9:30.
9:30.
Oh, you're going to give me crap about wine and listening, and you just said 6:30.
Well, he's thinking he's at Fox 2 Studio. Coming up at 6:30.
No, actually, I'm not even on at 6:30. I don't even know. I don't even know.
He's coming out of his nap at 6:30.
I got good sleep last night. I didn't drink. I don't know. I was just stupid.
His teleprompter wasn't working.
My teleprompter wasn't working. That's for sure. No doubt about it. We're also efforting. We'll see if Stephen Williford, he may be calling in. He stopped a mass shooting, church shooting in Texas. If people remember, he's been on the show a couple times to talk about the situation when it comes to whether, quote, there is such a thing as common sense gun laws. It sounds nice on the surface, but what is a common sense gun law? As we were going to the break, Gordon Montgomery said, we've taken God out of everything, and we wonder why there's evil all over the place, much more than there were decades ago or generations ago.
Let me put some perspective into this conversation as you go about your day. The Senate committee is holding hearings on ATF director pick. So they're picking an ATF director right now as we speak in the midst of all of this garbage.
Okay.
Is that a little bit odd?
No, it's not odd. And that's very interesting that
It's
adds up.
convenient.
Is that a little bit things to make you go,
yeah, it does. At the absolute
Wow.
bare minimum. So new ATF director being picked today, the day after.
I don't like it.
It's
Not one bit.
this isn't an FAA director. This isn't
Jeannie says spot on, Eric.
I just thought you just got to make yourself go, what the hell's going on here? So
Michelle says, yep.
So
Especially when Chris brought up earlier, he didn't go to his own school. I'm still confused as to the choice.
No, he went to an elementary school.
Right.
It doesn't even make any sense.
No.
Smells like
because they're cowards. They know that they're going to go to places there's no opposition, there's no resistance. It's going to look to me it's going to look like a video game.
Well, Kevin says it's not odd for this corrupt appointed administration. That's his words.
Well, it's just odd to me that the ATF, the guy that holds the keys to all the guns and all the licenses and all that stuff, happens to be the Senate's talking about him. Hey, we need stricter gun laws because of what happened yesterday. Mm-hmm. Conspiracy theory?
Yeah, absolutely. 100% freaking true. And it makes you wonder what's going on. Once again, though, if you look at what happens in the aftermath, because Eric, you brought it up, you're going to see it all over media and reporters and everything else in the town and talking. If somebody says, because I would like to know what a common sense gun law is, if there's something out there that could help prevent what happened yesterday, yeah, that's why it can't, quote, happen again. So what do you do? Is it really logical? Is it really intelligent to try to take everybody's handguns and rifles away?
I would say this. I think it's a fair conversation.
Yes.
And all these
You're
people
take
are going
people's handguns and rifles away.
all these people, and I would imagine everyone in this room are going to look at me and they're going to go, Eric, how could you say such things? Okay. The Second Amendment did not have to deal with social media. The Second Amendment didn't have to deal with a spiteful teen in Chicago, Illinois, or St. Louis, Missouri, or wherever this guy lives that's being bullied. The founders didn't have to deal with that. We have to deal with that. I would say that you could make a start if we find anything on your social media or anything that proves that you do not know how to handle a weapon, putting a weapon in a picture on Facebook or threatening someone, I would kill you or blah, 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 you then could be vetted on maybe not being able to have a gun.
Who's going to take
I don't know the answer to the question.
Eric, we don't have enough workers to do that, to go to individual. How are you going to do that?
But if this cat really, if it finds out that this cat and other shooters have a dossier that they keep online with them, some kind of a fact, a history on Facebook that's violent, and you didn't do anything about it,
especially when they're
seems to me like
words to be violent and they're kicking people off Twitter for things like that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, not to go into their house necessarily physically take their guns, but should they be on an extra list or whatever? I mean, when people weren't wearing their masks for airplanes, we were quick to put them on a list.
You did not have mental ill patients walking around in subways in New York City back in 1776 when you were developing said Second Amendment, So there is something to be said about that, okay? Now, do you even come close to touching the arms of a soccer mom and a soccer dad in the suburbs, or if they are law-abiding citizens? Here's the deal. If I have a driver's license, I can take that car to the streets of St. Charles. I can run over 5, 6, 7 people, maybe killing some of them. It doesn't mean the other law-abiding people that drive cars should have their license even close to being taken away.
Great point right here from the Facebook line. And you are the most educated listeners anywhere, the most entertaining listeners anywhere. And if there's somebody better, show me. That is my compliment to our listeners of this show, not only on 100.7 The Viper on FM frequency, but on our Facebook signal at 100.7 The Viper. Mark says, what kind of background check on an 18-year-old would have prevented this?
It's not a background check. It's not a proactive I'm not talking about that.
No, not you. This is going about, I'm assuming what he was referring to is this whole conversation before you even got here, Eric, was about universal background checks or what we have to have.
Right. That's a big no.
And
that's a big no.
Yeah. And nothing would have prevented this 18-year-old, which is why sometimes you want to talk about mental illness, you got to talk about it all the time. You want to talk about evil in society, you want to talk about that. But our leaders aren't talking about evil in society. They're not talking about good and evil. I'm just saying this. Because then they have to represent that there is a God, and they don't want to do that in the public forum.
I'm just saying this, that if you're so just fragrantly putting a Glock 9 in the picture, and it's on Facebook, and maybe you're threatening somebody. Who knows? I don't even know how this stuff works. If you're threatening someone, or like I'm going to get my gangsta on tonight, or whatever the verbiage is, there needs to be a red flag that goes up immediately. And maybe I can agree with Drew on this one. Maybe you have some social worker cop that drives over to his house and says, "You know what, dog? We saw this on Facebook.
Time
you
out.
okay?
Time out. I lost you at social worker cop.
Yeah, I don't think
you
you put the blues on this deal, but you maybe you do have somebody.
I'm not trying to be.
Well,
negative
who would do it? You do
here's
it.
The problem. No, that's just it. A lot
There's
of things.
There's got to be algorithms that they can put out there.
Yes, there could be, but guess what? They won't have enough people to deal with all the stuff that they find.
Then hire them.
Eric, once again, that's what I'm just getting to. Where are you getting your money from? Because right now, St. Louis City is hundreds of officers short. And then right now, because of what they do, they'll send a social worker.
Okay.
But they send a social worker with a cop.
You asked him.
So the cop has to go first. So it's not decreasing work, it's increasing work. With all
I didn't
the
say anything about
calls.
a cop. I said a special department.
You said a social worker cop. You just said that,
I know.
Eric.
Let's agree
That's
to agree
exactly
on this. Let's agree to agree. Let's agree to agree.
What you're saying.
Let's agree to agree. You just asked the question. How would you nip this one in the bud? Right? You just asked the question. You said what would you have done
differently?
Okay. What would I have done differently?
What I said was, what would a universal background check from the Facebook line, not me, but from the Facebook line, have done in preventing yesterday's shooting? Nothing.
Okay, so it starts from the home. If a parent says this kid has a gun, and
but this guy killed his grandmother, and then went to the school. So does that mean he told his grandmother and she was trying to stop him? And he killed his grandmother?
It seems to me that every single one of these shooters, there is some pattern that you would have been able to pick up on. Correct or not correct? Every single one of them.
Probably.
So that there
are many more who aren't doing shootings like yesterday who show those capabilities.
Right. I just think that if you're
that's why you have to be careful about that.
Yeah.
Chris, you said it was 18 for Texas, right? To buy a gun?
I think so. I think you can buy what
It's
they consider
different
long
different
I'm gonna look it
states
up
have
right
different laws.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
That's
It is
another
18.
issue.
I think it's 18 in Texas. You can buy a long arm, and that's what he
Long
did.
arm. Yep. 21 to purchase a handgun.
There you go.
How do you feel about that? That's a good point, Chris. An 18 as opposed to a
I think-
21-year-old. Because if you're 18, you
a
can
lot-
go sign up for the military
A lot of
and
people
shoot guns.
Yeah, but you're in the military.
Okay.
You're not out in the public. I think a lot of people will be surprised, but Drew did put up on the text line, raise the age of 21 to buy a gun.
I wouldn't be opposed.
I think I'd have to agree with that.
I wouldn't be opposed to that
or
at all.
some kind of training. I do think that if
No, there's no training. I think.
Wait a minute.
I think raising the age. What is an 18-year-old going to do with an AR-15 or an AK-47
or put more
or a long
right.
arm at 18 years
or
old?
put more illness
or
or
needs
oldness.
to.
Right.
Right.
What are you going to do
Onus.
with it? Deer
That
don't-
doesn't affect you
Deer
hunting,
don't
that's for
have
sure.
body armor. You know, I mean, you're not going to hunt in the woods for a deer with body armor on it. I mean, I think something needs to be implemented with the younger.
It's
owning
definitely the
a weapon
younger.
like
So
It's
like a
definitely the
driver's
younger.
license
Yes.
thing,
Or,
right?
or
Where-
putting some kind of insurances on the parents, maybe. Maybe the parents need to take
You're
more
going to sign
control
off
of
for
this.
your kid to own an AR-15
If he-
at 18 years old?
If I believe in the gun laws that much and he wants to go and shoot his gun in the wood. Look, it's also
So
about.
if he does something wrong with it, Eric
Yes.
Johnson's going to go to jail. You're
That's
good?
exactly right.
That might
I mean,
work.
that has to be a structure. You can't just let some.
like certain amount of hours at a gun range.
Maybe.
Like to be able to prove that you have gone and you know how to do this, you
I
know
don't
how
know.
to clean it.
Yes.
I mean, you got to show you have to parallel park a car. How many times are
Right.
you parallel parking
Right.
your car?
How about that? There you go.
Right?
We're making headway in this room.
Robert Peterbaugh says that you could use a sniper rifle, though, and not need to enter a school from 400 yards.
Oh, that's scary, but
Yeah.
it's true.
I'm just
Or you
saying,
could take
what
your
is an
car like earlier.
18-year-old What business does an 18-year-old being able to just go purchase a long arm?
Yeah,
Think
I
about
know.
that for a
And I'm all about shooting and love
Me
shooting
too.
guns,
I
and
love
I take
guns.
my
I own
boys
lots of
shooting to my
guns.
uncles.
But an 18-year-old?
That's a good point.
So there's a learner's permit when you get your
There's a good
driver's
point.
license. And maybe you hand a kid a learner's permit at 16 so that he can go with his dad into the woods and use
But
it.
he can't own it.
But 18-year-olds are considered adults, as Amy said.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree because are you an adult but you still can't buy alcohol?
Yeah, I know that's another one. But in some, I thought there's a couple states you can.
No.
I also don't think it
Legally
should be
at
21
18.
for
Okay.
alcohol.
There's
but-
no place in the United States of America that you can go up at 18 years old and buy a beer legally at a bar.
Right.
Nowhere.
Even when you're in the military.
Yep.
Even when you're in the military, Vic.
What were you saying? Yeah, what were you saying, Crystal, about?
But would you be against it
Against what?
if the alcohol level got changed to 18?
Yeah, I would be.
Because it goes to the morality of this country.
I would be.
think.
Yeah.
I do.
I think you need to be 21 to buy a beer.
I do think that we have to protect our youth. I don't see a problem with that. I really don't.
And you should be 21 to smoke vape pens with marijuana in them, I guess, too?
I would imagine
And it's
so.
the way it is now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be, but here's the thing.
So we can
though.
raise the age for a kid to go buy a vapor or a pack of cigarettes, but we can't raise the age for a kid to go buy a long arm?
The great talks. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what is the deal? What is the truth? What isn't going to work? What would work?
Yeah. That's an awful lot of power for an 18-year-old. Not that they can't handle it, but can they
Or
mentally?
some. Yeah. But,
Mentally.
and as we know, there's been more put on these 18-year-olds that we see now over the last 5 years.
Yes. School has changed.
And
when
then
you
we're
and I went to
dealing
school.
with, like I said, all the other factors we brought in. The music, the societal change, the way that they've been brought up.
Correct.
All these
Yes.
in society now. We've put kids, we've tried to make them grow up so fast, and the kids have grown up so fast with sex and the alcohol that you were talking about and all these issues in TV and video games that aren't like they ever were. Yeah, and if you don't think that, talk to
Yes.
psychologists.
Yes.
Talk to men and women.
That's who we need on right
who
now.
are booked and sold. I mean, They are sold out. Try getting in
Correct.
with a top psychologist
You're right.
these days.
You're right.
There's a reason that these kids are there. And if you think they just woke up and, oh, it just happened, no.
Yeah.
That's because of all these outside influences that are all over them. And the one I couldn't even get to yet was social media.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to talk to a psychologist, a child psychologist, because I think when I came in here, I was wondering, well, how do I phrase this? And I'm sure you did too. What's the story? Is it about going to Smith & Wesson and taking away their license to produce guns? Hell no, that's not the story. The story is psychology for these adolescents and how their brain is developing right now, and how people like myself and you and Chris and Vic, who are trying to run a household, how do we deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
And then how does it figure in with social media? How does Zuckerberg have a bit of a skin in this game? I believe he does.
He does.
How does TikTok have a skin
They
in
all
this
do.
game? I believe they do. How do these games that have shooter videos where you just blow the heads off of your enemy, and that is programming your kid? What better way to see that in reality than going to a school where you can just start pecking off human beings with no resistance? That's the best place to go. Seriously.
We've had Dr. Greg Mattingly on before. He's a psychiatrist. He's one of the best in the world, travels the world. He's joined our show twice before. He talked about the effects of COVID as well, and all of the shutdowns and everything else that kids have been put through as well. If we could try to get Dr. Greg back on again, too. I don't know. We'll see where we go.
So real quick, before we go,
are way
should
over
we
again.
change 18 for voting? I mean, we were just talking about all these things being 21 and us needing to have adult thought process. What
Oh,
about
that's a
voting?
great point. Let's get into that right after the break.
Now my brain's blown. Thanks a lot.
No, it is. That's
I got
what
to
we
go to
do.
the Lake of the Ozarks this weekend and be happy.
Well, don't listen to rap music, I guess.
Oh,
Well, we're doing a whole rap
Oh,
set.
be careful. There's shootings there, too. We remember that from last year, which is sad. I mean, it's sad.
Freezers.
Yes, there was a shooting at Shady Gators.
I know, he told us. he
Eric
was
Johnson,
with
Chris Knight, Chris Cooper on Big Fast and Fox 2. Back with more right after this.
Do you want to work for the biggest medical cannabis company in the state of Missouri? Belief Medical is looking for dynamic individuals to join our newest facility in Jonesburg. We are currently hiring for post-harvest technicians and offer 100% company-paid benefits that include medical, dental, and vision, as well as a starting pay of $15 per hour. If you're 21 or older and ready to join a great company that offers great pay and great benefits, visit our website at beliefmedical.com. BELEAF medical.com.
When it comes to pellet grilling, the true heroes of the hopper savor the process as much as they savor the result. Kingsford 100% hardwood pellets can be used on any pellet grill and add bold, smoky wood flavor to any meal. No preservatives or artificial flavors. Kingsford hardwood pellets keep the temperature consistent for an even heat, so you can cook as low and slow as you want. Kingsford 100% hardwood pellets. Kingsford.com.
Compass Health Network Express Care offices in Newtown, St. Peters, and Wentzville are ready to serve you today. Compass Health accepts Medicaid, self-pay, private insurance, and offers a sliding fee scale. Don't wait another day to feel better. Call 844-853-8937 for an appointment or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for a location nearest you. Compass Health Network Express Care. Feel better today.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Hey, Brian Dawson here. Folks, Brian Dawson Roofing and Construction is a roofing company dedicated to excellence and quality. We are very familiar with working with insurance as well as uninsured roofing needs. We do room additions, small roofs, big roofs, steep roofs, flat roofs, residential and commercial. So hey, if you have any roofing or construction needs, call me, Brian Dawson.
Learn more by visiting briandawsonroofing.com or call 636-465-9465. That's 465-9465.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
The graphics are so real on this video game console I bought with the savings from switching to Progressive 10 years ago. I can't tell what's real and what's the game, which I think is what people want. You know, in the future, which it is currently.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cash Back Match. Now to recap and say cash back one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It is The Edge. Eric Johnson's here, Chris Knight, Crystal Cooper, I'm Dick Faust of Fox 2. I've heard it all now. Eric just said, hey, I had a dream the other night. I had monkeypox. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, we've got Steve Ellman with us, St. Charles County Executive. Steve, Chris Higgins, my colleague, did a really cool story about these blue ways from St. Charles with you last night. Tell everybody what's going on with this darting blue way, because when I heard that, you know, there was an estimate that 25,000 people could be utilizing it, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was Len Pagano, the mayor of St. Peter's, who is an eternal optimist. I hope he's right about that one. But I tell you what, I think if people find out about it, Dick, there's going to be a whole lot of folks interested. And I'm so proud of our Parks Department. They've been working on this for 2 years, and we came up with the idea, but we found, we ran into a lot of roadblocks. The water was pretty bumpy there for a while, and we had to go ahead and clean the creek out, get a lot of brush and trees and everything else out of there, and it's unbelievable the amount of just trash that was in this creek. So we've done a good deed, at least in cleaning the creek out, and now we're making it available for people who want to kayak and canoe on it between the 370 park in St. Peter's and our own park on the Mississippi River, where the Darden Creek empties into the Mississippi.
That's so awesome.
That's fantastic.
I'm excited.
Okay. I'm sorry. Steve, I am new to the show today. Where is this exactly, and how do people participate? And I guess start from the beginning a little bit. What is this? Is it a water park? Is it just a recreational area?
It's just it's a Darden Creek, which
floods all the time.
Other parts of the country might be considered a river than a creek.
Okay.
But compared to the Mississippi, it's a creek, and it starts in St. Peter's 370 Park, which is at the 370 Industrial Park there, and they've got a beautiful park with a big lake, and they'll have a place where you can put in your kayak or your canoe.
Gotcha.
And you can paddle downstream. It takes about an hour and a half probably to do the entire trip.
Wow.
But you can paddle downstream, and then you can come out at our park, which is right where the creek runs into the Mississippi River.
Wow.
Now, again, when we first went out there, it was a mess. And just the fact that we've got it cleaned up, I think, has been an environmental feat that we're kind of proud of. And we think when people start using it, they'll help us keep it clean. And it's just, if you like doing that sort of thing, and you like the outdoors, and it's pretty wide when you get to the Mississippi, but at the upper end, you actually go into a little bit of Sanford Creek, and I mean it's trees on both sides. It's a complete tree cover, and you can.
Woo.
I think people are really going to enjoy it.
And how long is that
and Chris
distance?
did a good job on taking some pictures, Vic. I didn't get to see it, but if people can see some of the pictures he took, I think they're going to like it. Excuse me.
You can check it out on fox2now.com. We're actually showing video of the story Chris did right now on our Facebook page.
Great.
That's fantastic. I had no idea. You guys are hiding a lot of stuff from us, Steve. What else is coming?
Well, Crystal, were you going to say?
I just wanted to know how long is that from 370 Lakeside Park in St. Peters to the Riverside Landing in St. Charles? What is? You said about an hour and a half, but
that's what I've been told. And of
3
course, you
miles,
don't need to go all the way. You can go halfway and turn around and come back.
Nice.
But, of course, I guess that would take the same amount of time, wouldn't it?
I don't know. It depends on the current, I guess. So
yeah, it's and I was on it a year ago, and we could only get halfway up because there was so much garbage, just plastic bottles, and we found a football yesterday, Vic. Found a
with
football
Vic's old
that
number.
We
we
fished out, and volleyballs and beach balls and just a lot of stuff. So
Well, hopefully people take care of it, like you said, and keep it clean.
I think they will.
So people don't think
you'll
that
be
it's just
able
a
to bring
glorified
your own
ditch.
kayak or canoe, or you can rent kayaks and canoes from the city or from the county parks department, and that all will begin on Friday. So you can get on our website and St. Charles County Parks website and explore all that.
So is there a current? Just one quick question: is there a current? Is there going to be people rowing back upstream to get their kayak to wherever you rented it from, or how does that work?
There's really not much of a current at all because the river goes up and down, and when it does, it kind of backs the water in. I'm sure during a rainstorm there's a current, but once it settles down, there's a little bit of a current, but not much.
I love it. Can you swim in it? Is it something you can do?
Are you?
I wouldn't.
Don't look at
Eric.
No way.
Vic, if you can swim in the Lake of the Ozarks, you might be able to swim here.
This is the waterway itself is public property. You have to stay in your canoe because we have private land owned by private individuals on both banks. So it's the sort of thing you need to stay in your canoe.
Oh, Eric, you can swim. We'll let you swim.
And you can ask Chris, man. We had Asian carp. We had 4 Asian carp jump in our boat. Wow.
Well, Steve, is that a good thing or not? I don't know if that sounds great.
It would take Tabitha Hassel right out. Remember when it went into her face? Wow.
Steve, when can people start to utilize this again? I may have missed what you said.
On Friday. This Friday.
Okay.
I'm going.
Is there anything?
We'll be going this Friday, and yeah, you guys go out there and let me know what you think.
I love it.
I was very impressed.
Can you do anything motorized, or is it just paddles?
Legally, in the state of Missouri, you can. I guess we'll wait and see how that all works out. You at the upper reaches, you wouldn't be able to use a motorboat or anything like that. I mean, it's only about 10, 12 feet wide.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of inside information. At Costco, you can get like these little kayaks that have a little trolling motor on them. So it's a way to cheat. If you go to Costco and put the little trolling motor on it, you're fine. Trust me.
Steve, let me ask you a question. Say this is a big hit this summer because you guys have done this. Who's going to police these waterways?
Well, the State Water Patrol has jurisdiction. We will have park rangers around there as well. So it's a good question, and we're hopeful that, as usually is the case in St. Charles County, the citizens themselves do a pretty good job of policing each other and doing the right thing.
True.
And we're hopeful that will continue on our Blueway, just as it does on trails and everywhere else.
Okay. So before we go to serious topics, if you can take some, where's Party Cove? Is there going to be a Party Cove on this thing?
Oh my God, Eric.
I'm bringing the barbecue.
What, do you want a floating PRL or something?
Party Cove is out on out in the main channel of the Mississippi.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Or at least it used to be 30 years ago. I haven't been there lately.
Right. Neither have I. I heard it was awesome.
Hey, Steve, you were coming out to talk about this cool project with Blue Ways. But while you're here, can we ask you a couple other questions real quick before you go? Eric, here's your chance. Jump in.
So we heard last week, and this was
a story that Elliot Davis did with Steve and a couple follow-ups.
You're doing a fantastic job in St. Charles. No one will ever take that away from you. But we did have one concerning story that's kind of been left in limbo in the last week or so. According to some source, and I'm not sourcing this out properly, Elliot Davis, I guess, there's going to be a facility that the city is considering to build that is for homeless encampments. Is that correct? Am I saying this correctly? But a house or some kind of a building that's for homeless people. Is that true or is that not true? And where does that project stand?
Well, it's true. I mean, at least there's an intent to do something like that. But this is a problem that we've always had. You got the city of St. Charles and you got St. Charles County. This is an initiative by the city of St. Charles. Now, they have gone to the other cities in the county. They've also come to us, and they want us to participate in some way. But this is an initiative by Mayor Borgmeyer in the city of St. Charles, and we've been talking about it for several years. And they're finally coming up with some specifics, but there'll be a lot more discussion about who is involved and where the money's coming from and what exactly is going on.
Can I give you a little bit of perspective? Just they did this. I saw this whole thing happen in Seattle, Washington. There was a homeless problem in Seattle that's down in Pioneer Square and down by the old Starbucks. And they brought in these homeless housing, free housing, and it blew up into what you know of Seattle today. There was no checks on this thing. And it brought people from Olympia, from Tacoma, from North to go to these places. It made Seattle a destination for homeless encampments. Have you guys thought that through, that maybe, hey, the people in South County or in St. Louis or whatever come here for that kind of I don't even know what the word would be, but for that kind of opportunity?
Those are exactly the kind of questions that I've asked, and in fact, several other mayors. Apparently, this has become a problem in the city of St. Charles that is not a problem in a lot of the rest of the county. And again, I give the mayor credit for at least looking at it and studying it. He's made presentations to the mayor's administrators over the last year. He's made several other presentations publicly. There's a lot of good people that would like to do something. But I've been dealing with this problem for 35 years. I was on the board for the Salvation Army when I first came to St. Charles and started practicing law, and we were trying to deal with this issue then. And the fact of the matter is, it's like every other project like this. There's people out there that really deserve your help, and you want to try to help them, and then there's other people who just take advantage of it and turn it into a problem rather than a solution.
Steve,
so let me just guarantee you that nothing will be done without a lot of public input and a lot of discussion. At least nothing by the county. The city is independent and they can do what they want. But I think a lot of citizens of the city are going to want to have a lot more information before they make a decision on this.
And before you go, what's the latest on and anybody that's a homeowner can appreciate this. Not everything's going to be easy. Everybody thinks it's easy to be a leader. We have I guess you would call it a court where we have foundations that were crumbling where people couldn't live in the homes. It's another story that you were willing to talk about with Fox 2 about. What's the latest on this? How can you really rectify a situation where the homes are no longer safe for people to live in because of the foundations, and who's at fault and what's going on? Because I know that there's a lot of people throwing arrows at you going, Steve, take care of this. And I did hear you say, well, if you got ideas, let us know.
Well, it was Elliot has changed his title now. It's you should have paid for it.
Oh,
and instead of you paid for it. Here's the thing. That subdivision was one of the first that were built in St. Charles County of that size. I mean, I remember it was 1974, and there was 300 or 400 new homes. That was unheard of. County government back then, I will tell you, was not as sophisticated as we are now. There were builders building out here because we didn't have some of the same regulations they had in St. Louis County. So that subdivision was built and didn't have the kind of drainage system that we would require today or would have required even 20 years ago. So there are some drainage problems, and those are not legally our responsibility, but they are things that we are going to certainly do our part in fixing. The problem is that some of these houses are sliding down the hill, at least one of them has so far. And that's not because of the drainage situation. That's because of the soils issue. And once again, you probably, engineers probably wouldn't let you build in a place that had bad soils, but they did back then. So the question is it's not a responsibility of county government, but is it a moral responsibility? And that's how we're approaching it at this point. There was money put in the budget in Jefferson City. We are talking to DNR right now. We know that money can be used to solve the drainage problems. So we're also asking them if that money can be used to solve these subsidence problems due to bad soil. And if they say it can't, then we are going to try to find some federal money from the ARPA to address that issue.
Well, it's good. You're working on it. Steve, Chris,
we're working on it, and that's the biggest thing. And we're working on it, and we talked about what we were going to try to do last December, and we've done all those things, but now it's time to take the next step.
Steve, Chris Knight here. I want to ask you one favor. Can you do me a favor, please?
I try.
Don't say yes.
You have the ear of all these mayors out here. It's not your total responsibility. Will you please pass the message on to these mayors? Fix the potholes.
That's deep.
I think you'll want to have me on again in a few days.
Here we go.
Oh,
here we go.
I think you'll want to have me on in a few days. I'm talking to council people about a proposal that I'd like to put forward, and I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because everybody I've called so far is excited about it. But I don't want to be premature. But that is something we're really going to address, I believe.
How about this? Whatever truck fills the most potholes gets Ruth's Chris Steakhouse from Chris Knight.
And I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'll buy it. Because that tire on my BMW is worth every penny of that Ruth's Chris.
You're so bougie. What are you so bougie for?
Coming from the guy who drives a BMW sports car.
Yeah, but I didn't say it on the air.
Hey, Steve, thanks for taking.
Stay tuned for the pothole.
Yeah.
All right.
I love the teaser.
Steve, thanks again for taking some time today.
Steve.
Okay.
All right. See you guys. Appreciate it all the time. Thanks.
All right. Good guest. Good guest. Glad
I wish
we
I was
got
going to be
some
here
answers.
Friday. I knew nothing about this.
Eric, nobody's going to be
Goodness.
here Friday.
Yeah, you didn't get the note, did you? We're on
No,
Friday.
the show is
Monday.
great.
Yeah.
The show
I
is
have
awesome.
no idea what you're talking
We'll
about.
just let him show up.
Is there going to be anybody here on Friday for real?
No.
There's not?
We've
Look,
been
this is how
talking-
you think I know nothing about what's going on in this show ever.
Ding, 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 ding,
How
ding,
did
ding.
how did I just start?
I don't know. Maybe you're first. Maybe you need to
This
just
is
hit
Crystal
Hemi
Cooper.
I understand who she is. All right.
They'll have your tapioca butterscotch pudding
Fantastic.
for you.
Don't slam tapioca until you try it,
Del
son.
Mar Gardens later
That's fine.
today.
Eric, we are going to be here, so make sure you're here on time, all right?
Yeah.
Shut up. You're just being silly now.
He is just being silly. Real quick question. Should you guys, flipping back because we do that really well, should the voting age be 21 if we were talking about alcohol and guns being 21?
I say yes.
Crystal brought up a great point.
I say yes.
I say yes.
I say yes.
And guess when that's going to happen? Never.
Never.
If anything, you had Nancy Pelosi wanting to make it 16.
Oh, I
Going
thought you
the
were going to
other
say
way.
12.
Going the other way, 16.
Sure,
That
they
is
need
the
the
dumbest.
votes.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because
I would have no problem with a 21-year-old. You're
because
right.
we're talking about now. What's the story? Again, it's up to you to figure out throughout the rest of the day. Is the story about now bringing the age of all this stuff down that you like and all the stuff that goes up that you don't like, bringing it down, having a kid who can't even drive a car vote for whatever's happening in their community? Like, okay, here's an idea. So you know what?
And it's 9:51.
Do you know what democracy was started on?
Giving you
Hey,
warnings.
hold on. You know what democracy was started on? Taxation.
Yeah.
That's why they started throwing tea into the harbor.
Taxation without
right?
representation. Get it.
What about this? When a kid can pay for a house and he's being taxed on his property taxes or whatever.
No, Eric, because you can do that at 18.
Okay, but I'm just saying this. If a kid should not make decisions on legalizing cocaine and marijuana and all this stuff because they don't have the capacity to
When they're
think
not
that.
paying their own bills.
Right, critical thinking. They don't have critical thinking yet. So this is a great conversation. We'll table it till tomorrow.
Hey, yeah, and we'll have a lot of good. And by the way, you and Roz have a pudding date She loves tapioca and rice pudding.
I'm not totally sure why you're capping on tapioca.
And she's getting ready to try the new chocolate avocado pudding, Eric.
Now you've lost me.
You've got a pudding day. You got a pudding.
The
day.
avocado lost me too.
Now you scared me, Roz. I'm never coming over for tapioca and chocolate and avocado. That's not going to happen. Why don't you just put asparagus in it while you're at it? Yeah.
Oh, man, that's great. All right, Eric Johnson, Chris and I. Chris Cooper on Big Fast of Fox 2. Eric's going to be here Friday. The rest of us won't be. Back with more Ed right after this.
Listen to the Edge Morning Show live. Watch it live or anytime on demand. Details at ViperRocks.com or on Facebook.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon.
If you want the best, don't settle for the rest. Come to F&S. F&S Collision Repair provides the best customer service, quality of work, paint color match, and paintless dent repair. They do it all. No job too big or too small. Just what your car or truck ordered. F&S Collision. Call today to schedule your appointment and get that car repaired. F&S Collision Repair.
DQ presents. Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies. For over 40 years, your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000, on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com.
Great care for children begins at Compass Health Network. Our Warrenton and Wentzville locations offer pediatric walk-in services, same-day appointments, and specialty care, so your children get the care they need, when, and how they need it. When it comes to children's health care, Compass Health Network is here for you and your family. Call 844-853-8937 for an appointment, or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank & Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank & Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Locke's Family Hair Salon in St. Peters, the emphasis is on family. Women, men, and children's styles to make everyone look amazing. And they have their new line of Locke's shampoo and conditioner, just for Locke's clients. For cuts, color, perms, and more. Come in for Brazilian blowouts, face waxing, makeup, and hair extensions too. On Mexico Road in St. Peters by Smoothie King. For directions and appointment information, go to loxfamilyhairsalon.com. Locke's Family Hair Salon, where family is everything.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us today, giving you a live look from downtown St. Louis, from Earth Cam, the East St. Louis side.
Lots of clouds.
Lots of clouds, but we're going to have a great weekend no matter what plans you may have. Weather's going to be terrific
Man.
all throughout the Midwest, looks like. So,
And just count your blessings, people. Because if you lived in Mono County, California, your average price for gas, $7.
dear God.
Yeah.
I
How about that?
wow.
Hey, Biden, come out and talk about that one.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Crystal Cooper, I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We'll see you for Fox News at 5 and 9 tonight. Enjoy the day. Go Blues, do your
Ty?
best. Go Cardinals, do your best. I don't know. Something, I don't know, maroon, red. I'll wear something maroon, maybe maroon red tonight.
Isn't it a Blues game tonight?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
Chris already
but
said they're done.
We're over it.
They're done?
We're over
They're
it.
done.
You guys suck.
We're over it.
Yeah. All right. Have an awesome day. We'll see you later.
Bye.